Brett Kavanaugh has passed the semifinals in his bid to become the next Supreme Court Justice of the United States. The Senate voted 51-49 to advance him to a confirmation floor vote, which is expected to happen on Saturday. Now, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska voted no as a Republican on sending the confirmation forward. Here is Lisa Murkowski huddled with Dianne Feinstein, the Democrat who is under investigation for leaking Christine Blasey Ford's letter. Now, with Lisa Murkowski voting no and Democrat Joe Manchin of West Virginia voting yes, they essentially canceled each other out and kept the vote at 51-49. Now, Mercedes Schlapp from the White House says that they're confident they have the votes and they expect the 51-49 to hold. All eyes, of course, are on Susan Collins and Jeff Flake. If Susan Collins and Jeff Flake both vote no, then Kavanaugh can be derailed. Now, Susan Collins is expected to take the Senate floor at 3 p.m. We'll be providing live coverage of her remarks. It's too bad because we usually don't cover Susan Collins too closely because she doesn't matter and she doesn't really do anything. But in these kinds of events, we have to, of course, pay attention to the rhinos and see if they're going to backstab the Republicans, and all the Republicans have to go and beg the rhinos not to backstab them. We've been through this before. Now, one theory that's been put out there, because we've got Steve Daines of Montana going back home on Saturday to attend his daughter's wedding. Obviously, a lot of people want him to be there for the vote. He has indicated that he'll be there for the vote, but then again, people are saying, well, if it's 51-49 without him, it will still be 50-50 and then send it on to Mike Pence. I think that's a gamble because we don't know if Jeff Flake is going to flake out again. There are protesters right outside of Jeff Flake's office right now. There are some pro-Kavanaugh protesters in white shirts. There are some anti-Kavanaugh agitators in black shirts. They are camped out outside of Jeff Flake's office as the Arizona senator decides whether or not he's going to vote for Brett Kavanaugh. Obviously, he has been the target of a lot of well-funded activist attention, including from the co-executive director of the Center for Popular Democracy, a George Soros-funded organization. That was the lady who confronted him on the elevator the first time around. Now, this is, this is really becoming a circus. And let's talk about Sheila Jackson Lee. Sheila Jackson Lee was caught on video, and we have the video. We put the video up on our site. Sheila Jackson Lee caught on video handing a white envelope to Christine Blasey Ford's lawyer at the hearing. Now, Sheila Jackson Lee's employee, Jackson Costco, has been fired. He has been charged with numerous charges stemming from his doxing of Republican senators. He has been charged with burglary, witness tampering, and other crimes. And it's interesting that witness tampering is one of the crimes, considering that Sheila Jackson Lee is caught on tape handing a white envelope to Christine Blasey Ford's lawyer. So this is all very interesting, and obviously you have Christine Blasey Ford accused of perjury for saying that she never helped anyone with a polygraph test, never discussed doing a polygraph test with anyone except her lawyers. According to her ex-boyfriend, she actually coached a woman on how to take a polygraph test. The woman, Monica McLean, denies that accusation. So, I mean, the Democrats are really in panic mode, and you have Dianne Feinstein, who admitted that she didn't even read the whole FBI report, calling it incomplete, criticizing it. Well, you know what, Ms. Feinstein? Your reading of the FBI report was incomplete. You didn't even finish the document. You didn't even read it. She did a book report without reading the book. Let's talk about President Donald Trump. Let's talk about, the president who obviously is watching the day's events unfold from the White House, watching very closely. President Donald Trump. There are a lot of think pieces right now about how the Republican Party is now unified behind Brett Kavanaugh. The GOP civil war is over. There's a reunification of the Republican Party behind Kavanaugh and, in effect, behind President Donald Trump. Now, what these think pieces fail to take into consideration is that conservative voters in this country have always supported President Donald Trump, at least since he won the election over Hillary Clinton. There has never been any division in the ranks among Republican voters. There is a Never Trump movement on Twitter that seems to think they're way more important than they are, and they've been joining with the Democrats and criticizing our Republican president ever since he took office. And they don't really matter anymore. They're becoming less relevant. And the thing that we need to realize here is that Trumpism, so to speak, the movement around President Donald Trump, what is it really all about? If you ask never-Trumpers, if you ask people like David French or whoever these people are on Twitter, they'll complain about Trump. They'll say it's all about tariffs. They'll say that Trump supporters are racists. It's about race, or it's about white supremacy, or it's about isolationism, or this and that. No, it's not. As has been made clear by the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation process, President Donald Trump and his supporters want to see wins, want to see real, actual victories, real policy wins, real appointments getting done, real Supreme Court justices like Neil Gorsuch getting onto the court, and Brett Kavanaugh. That's what this is about. Does Trump use tariffs as a tool in order to help the United States gain leverage in negotiations with other countries? Yes. But are we talking about some kind of ideology that trumps everything else, some kind of oath among Trump supporters that is opposed to conservatism? No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a movement of people who love this country, who love the United States of America, many of whom are conservatives, but a whole lot of whom are independents and reform Democrats, who want to see America win again. They want to see the rule of law upheld in this country. They want to see the Constitution protected. They want to see First Amendment protected for everyone. They want to see the Second Amendment protected so that foreign despots cannot take over the United States of America. And they want a Republican Party that will actually fight. The irony of all of this is that all Trump supporters were saying the whole time to the Republican establishment was, why are you guys not fighting? Why don't you guys fight? Why don't you guys actually do something to counter the Democrats? Why don't you guys act like an actual political party that's in majority instead of a fake opposition party that just goes along with the Democrats on every omnibus bill? And the irony is that instead of listening to the concerns of Trump supporters and actually fighting against Democrats, for the last 2 years, all the Republican establishment has done has been fight against Trump supporters. How dare you? How dare you say we should fight harder? We're going to go fight against you. We're going to call you a racist. We're going to call you a fringe lunatic. Well, if they had just taken all that energy and all that venom that they used to come after Trump supporters, and they had directed it constructively in a peaceful way toward coming up with a strategy to defeat the Democrats, then we wouldn't be in this position. Republicans would have a lot more power in this country because the will of the voters is on the conservative side. It just so happens that until Brett Kavanaugh, the Republican establishment and the leadership was unwilling to fight the Democrats. So now, the eyes of the world really are on Mitch McConnell. Is he going to be able to carry this home? Is he going to be able to maintain the 51-49 vote and get Brett Kavanaugh confirmed? The White House believes that they have the votes. However, people did not expect John McCain to cast the vote against the Obamacare repeal and replace. That came as a surprise. Is Jeff Flake plotting that kind of surprise? Is Susan Collins plotting a surprise like that? We'll find out at 3 p.m. We're going to keep you updated on all of the day's events. Please keep watching. Please keep reading bigleaguepolitics.com. We are there on the ground. We are there, covering stories all over the country because all of these stories really have the same theme, the same subject matter. And the subject matter is, what is the future of our country going to be? What is the United States going to become? And if the Republican Party is not even capable of getting their own senators online with a very qualified Supreme Court justice nominee, then that raises very serious questions about the Republican Party. But President Donald Trump is the leader of the Republican Party, and out of all the Republicans, he's the one who has shown that he's always willing to fight.